All right, fifth grade. Well, we are continuing right along here in chapter 12 with the Big Ideas Math Curriculum. And this is amount of money your class raises over 6 days. And here we give a little table. And you can see here we're going to be talking about basically about line graphs. Line graphs essentially show how data change over time, whether things go up, things go down. We measure a lot of things: money earned, temperatures, how many things were sold or bought, how many miles somebody walked, or there's an infinite number of things that you can use a line graph to measure. And we're just going to do a couple of examples on this video that'll be similar to what your assignment is. It'll kind of get you exposed to line graphs. So our first table here is amount of money your class raises over 6 days. So your class was doing some sort of fundraiser. After day 1, you had collected $20, and it's cumulative total. So this means that this doesn't mean on day 2 your class raised $50. This just means that after day 2 you had a total of $50. After day 3 you had a total of $60. After day 4 you still had a total of $60. So your class didn't raise anything on day 4. So anyway, we're making a line graph. And so the first thing I want to do, first of all, is figure out what my x and y axis are going to be. Well, I think I'm going to use the day as my x-axis. So I'm going to have day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. And I'm going to kind of just show that it keeps going. That's my x-axis. Okay, here's going to be my y-axis. That's going to keep going here. And you see how I kind of construct this. All right, now with my y-axis, I've got money earned. I've got the lowest is 20, the highest is 90. So I want to think what increments are going to make sense. Well, I'm only going up to $90. So for this one here, I'm going to go in increments of $10 because I want to try to get as many exactly on a line, but I don't want to have too many lines. So we're going to have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. That's not working out very well. I'll tell you what we're going to do. We want to have it evenly spaced. We're going to go ahead and we're going to do this a little bit differently. We're going to go 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. And we go ahead and put the dollar signs. All right. So there's our graph, and we're going to go ahead and bring our lines up. That's what we want to do. And you see how we just kind of make it. And if you need to use a straight edge, you can. But it doesn't need to be perfect, but it does need to be neat. Okay? Neat is more important than perfect. But if to make it neat, you got to essentially try to make it perfect, then that's what you got to do. All right? I'm going to go ahead and erase that, erase that, erase that. Okay, so we got our graph. So we're going to make the line graph. We're going to go ahead and plot it. The first one, x is 1, y is 20, because we've got our day as our x-axis, and we've got our total, and I'll go ahead here for the y-axis, total. So 120 for day 1. Day 1, $20. Day 1, $20. Day 2, we were up to $50. So I'm going to go 250. That's going to be halfway between 40 and 60. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and make a line right there. Day 3 was $60. So day 3, $60, and not as much of an increase. Day 4 is also $60. So day 4, $60 with no increase, just a straight line across. Day 5, $80, so a slight gain. And day 6, $90. That's going to be halfway between 80 and 100. And there's my line graph. Not fancy, but neat, easy to read. So that's question 1. Question 2, how much money does your class raise after 4 days? So I just go to the table, and it says after day 4, they raised $60. So the correct answer to question 2 is $60. Question 3, how much money does your class raise between days 2 and 5? Well, day 2 was $50. Day 5 was $80. So I got to find the difference between 80 and 50. Well, 80 minus 50 is going to end up being $30 raised between days 2 and 5. Not hard. 5th grade, you can handle this. Let's look at another line graph that's going to be somewhat different. Let's bring the other board in here. Temperatures during several hours during a snowstorm. So we're familiar with snowstorms here in Southwest Michigan. And these are what the temperatures were during several hours. So during hour 1, 28 degrees, hour 2, 26 degrees, hour 3, 24 degrees, and so forth. It kept getting cooler. First of all, I want to make a line graph. So once again, time in hours. All right, so we're going to put time and hours, and we're going to go ahead with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We're going to go ahead here with our arrow to show our x-axis. Then we're going to go ahead here. All right. Up here with our y-axis. There's 0. And temperature degrees Fahrenheit. It says 28, 26, 24, 24, 20, and 19. So I have to get as high as 28. But my smallest number is 19. So what I do in a situation like this, because everything's going to be up toward the top part of the graph, I make what we call a broken graph, okay? And so what I do here in that situation is I make a little break in the graph, essentially just like that. And I start it, and I'm going to erase this for that just to be temp. We'll refer to that later. And so what I'm going to do here then in that situation is I say, well, I've got numbers here, and my lowest is 19. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to go and say 18 degrees, 20 degrees, 22, 24, 26, 28. And I'm going to go ahead here, degrees Fahrenheit. All right, and so then I'm going to go ahead and put them across. Once again, I'm not necessarily worried about perfect. What I'm looking for is space and neat, easy to read. Notice 5th graders how I give myself a lot of extra space. I'm going to go ahead and put a 30 up there. And I'm going to go ahead here with my 1 straight up, 2 straight up, 3 straight up, 4 straight up, 5 straight up, 6 straight up. Okay? Time and hours. All right. So hour 1 was 28 degrees. So hour 1, 28 degrees right there. Hour 2 is 26 degrees. So 2 is going to go to 26. And we're going to have a line there. 3 and 24. 3 goes to 24. And we're going to have kind of a steady drop right there. 4 is also 24, so it kind of held there for that hour. And so just kind of a horizontal line there. Hour 5, 20 degrees, so we kind of had a drop right there. 5 is 20 degrees. Hour 6 is 19 degrees. And so that we understand with 18 and 20, that's going to go right between those two. Just fell 1 degrees. So that's not a very straight line. If it's not neat, fix it, 5th grade. Make it look neat. So there's my line graph, all right, showing a steady fall other than between hours 3 and 4. Question 2, between which 2 hours does the temperature decrease the most? Well, between 28 and 26, it went down by 2. Between 26 and 24, it went down by 2. 24 to 24, it didn't decrease at all. 24 to 20, it decreased by 4. And between 25 and 6, it only decreased by 1. So it looks like between hours 4 and 5, it decreased the most because it decreased by 4 degrees. So between which 2 hours? We would say 4 and 5. That's when it decreased by 4. All right. About what temperature would it be at 2 hours and 30 minutes? Well, if at 2 hours it was 26 and at 3 hours it was 24, 2 hours and 30 minutes would be halfway between hours 2 and 3 because there's 60 minutes in an hour. So at that 30-minute point, we're halfway. So we're going to basically think, well, what's halfway between 26 and 24? Well, halfway between 26 and 24 is going to be 25 degrees Fahrenheit. And so you're going to have to use your line graphs to answer some different questions. All right, we'll talk to you later, 5th graders. Bye.